Yes, hi there. PL John Archie. This is Founders 4, the fourth part of my Founder series on the Founders of the United Nations. This video is about the fourth man, who is also the leader of the group of four, and that would be the most important man in the group of four, and that would be King Philip Spencer. So let me give a little bit of overview about Philip Spencer, King Philip of England. King Philip Spencer of England. He is married to Queen Elizabeth Spencer of England, who is the Queen of England and ruling monarch, in subjugation to her husband, which is also King Philip Spencer. And I should phrase that King Philip Spencer is the ruling monarch, principal ruling monarch of all of England. So a little bit of background on the fourth man here. He is Philip Spencer is the Royal Crown of England, the Royal Crown of the United Kingdom. He grew up in a privileged family in Althorpe Castle, and deep roots with Althorpe, and his father was the Earl of Spencer. I'm sorry, his brother. I stand corrected. His brother was the Earl of Spencer, and his father, her grandfather, is King George Spencer, ruling monarch of all, older ruling monarch of United Kingdom. So let me go into more about Philip Spencer and his contribution to and conversations and other things of great importance about his contribution to the group of four men who built Planet Government in the United Nations. Philip Spencer is the ruling monarch of the United Kingdom, and he sat in with the group of four. He is the one who made a lot of important decisions in his lifetime, and still continues to as an active member of British aristocracy and king, to make humongously important decisions about the United Kingdom and the future of it. He grew up with a father and grandfather, principally grandfather's enormous oversight on his grandson, and huge impressions by King George on how to rule a monarchy, how to create a kingdom that represents an advancement for civilization. King George is a brilliant man and a brilliant leader. He is about him. He's a brilliant man, a brilliant leader, and someone who was a visionary. He pursued his own way of leadership, and he was a stern authoritarian and a compassionate, kind, and caring man. However, he ruled the United Kingdom the same way he ruled his own family. There was no difference. You had both parts of the one man who ruled with stern authority and was an absolute, sometimes brutal authoritarian, but yet a personable man. You could walk up to and shake hands with him and say good things. But you also got the point that there's a distance between him and his family and the rest of the United Kingdom, the commoners of the United Kingdom. And so, being the fourth man, he sat in with all the meetings, and he made a lot of important decisions with how the United Nations would be created, and the founding documents, and he followed a lot of advice that his grandfather had given him, King George. And this I'll go into this. Reflections of family discussions that I've sat with my first wife, Princess Diana Spencer Norton, Princess Norton, Diana Norton, and also with Elizabeth Spencer, which is Queen Elizabeth, and with King Phillip Spencer, and other Spencer family members. Some who were present in the room and prefer not to be named. So I will not name because of their right to privacy. They do not want to be named. Anyway, so how did this man contribute to the founding of the United Nations? He led the group of four to and gave a lot of his gave a portion of his wealth to help create the United Nations government, planned government, and he's also had an ongoing hand in every part of this planet ever since. As one of the last living members of the group of four, he is still an active participant in planetary government decisions, and so is his family. The Spencer family is hugely active in making, as the leader and founder, primary principal founder of the United Nations. So you see a little bit how his role is very important. He took a lot of direction from his grandfather. He loved his grandfather when his grandfather was living. He loved his father a lot too, but he was particularly close to and he's spoken very highly of this. He's very close with his grandfather, and in his very young years of growing up, he looked up to this man very greatly, King George Spencer, as an icon of what leadership really is. I want to be that someday. When I get to be king, I want to be just like George Spencer, King George. And he looked up to him in every way as a role model, an icon, and someone who could get things done, get it done now, snappy, do it right now, kind of person. And you saw that all the time in his early part of his lifetime when George Spencer, King George, was living. And he also went through the hurt and the pain of seeing his grandfather die and the public funeral that happened. And also reflecting on it from the perspective of my beloved wife, Princess Diana Norton, Spencer Norton, and her passionate comments and thoughts about my grandfather as one of the greatest men I ever walked the face of the earth. He's a brilliant man who knew how to govern. He knew how to make things happen, and he was very kind and caring about particularly caring about this planet and the future of this planet Earth, and he really wanted the best for all of humanity. He wanted everyone to be, whether you were a commoner or you were aristocracy, aristocratic, as he used to tell her. I want everyone to have a good life. And this is one of those motivations that was passed down to Phillip Spencer, King Phillip Spencer. That I must do this. I must create a planet government that represents all the parts of society, all parts of this planet, a diversity, and a diversity that is of enormous importance, but yet is still subject to being governed. Because governance is really important, and the vastness of governance can be a positive, good thing for the current and future of this planet. However, it must not be corrupted, and monarchy must be the driving force on this planet Earth to ensure that this planet remains in good stewardship, Christian stewardship. Because he learned early in his lifetime from his grandfather and from the Earl of Spencer, which is his father, his brother, I stand corrected, that governance is really important as long as you do it in a Christian way. And Christianity is a major part of what the Spencer family is. And also diving in a little bit deeper, he's always wanted people to have prosperity. The world must have prosperity, and that's and peace and freedom are very important. And being the leader of the group of four, he very much drove that point home that humanity must have universal human rights. We must have human rights. We must have peace. We must have fundamental freedom. And as monarchs, we must create a government that represents all of mankind with the founding documents that are now the United Nations. And so that you see how he's led the group of four. Just a little bit of insight and sitting with the senior leadership of my royal family, which is and the primary founding family, the primary creator of leadership creator of the United Nations planet government, and a little bit of insight into who they are and what they've been involved with for approximately 100 years, and actually beyond that. There's many hundreds of years involved with the Spencer family. And Spencer family's involvement has been a very long time. So this is a little bit about them. And the primary man, King Phillip Spencer. Thank you very much.